I've been around and doing it, but now it's my time to shine and start proving it. I'm losing it, I'm moving it. The city is where I'm made, Bostonian flow, I kick it a back day. Yeah, I got game, God in a fan way. We the city of the champs, every sport we play. Spit wetter than the harbor, yeah, I'm flowing like the Charles. I be speeding on this beat, call it Turnpike Miles. Yeah, it's Boo signing on.
Welcome back, everyone, to the newest edition of Once a Week. I'm Billy Giannouloudis, and guys, today we have special guest Andrea Urciuoli back on the show. She's put a lot of great messages out there. You guys got to check them out. I'm going to put some of them at the end of this video. But guys, we got together today to try to pick this message to you because we're seeing it pop up more and more in our immediate lives, our life coaching clients' lives, just people we're coming across. And it's this authenticity aspect where when you're trying to get to that next level in life, you're trying to do something, you may be hitting every roadblock that's ever popped up ever, and you don't know why. It came to our attention that we do this, and it's helped us get to another level, so we want to kind of give you this coaching tip right here. You gotta be authentic with everything you're doing. And that's going to cause you to be more vulnerable because you're wearing your story on your sleeve. But that's what gets people to a new area in life. When you can be authentic in all that you are. That's putting your story out there, and whatever that means to you. So, Andrea, thank you for being here.
Thanks, Billy.
Yeah.
Happy Sunday. We meet on Sundays,
right?
everybody. That's our day.
Yeah, let's dive into it, though.
So, authenticity. That was our topic of the day, and boy, did we always talk prior to filming, and we start small and then it explodes because we run with it because it's real. Yeah. And we talk about our lives, and you just said wearing our stuff on our sleeve. And when we first started filming, you know, we always wanted to be real and authentic, but we're human, so we hold back.
It's natural. It's
natural. We both coach teens, kids, and we want to be authentic, but we have to decide to pick and choose how much we're going to offer to the world, to the public, because we have our own fears of judgment. Yeah. We've had videos on judgment as well.
Yeah, definitely.
We all feel like we might be judged in some way, shape, or form. Yeah. And we also fear, and I know I have and still do, fear losing people. If I come clean and say, I want this, this, and this, that's going to be either that person's going to stay with me or they're going to leave. Yeah. And that's the chance you have to take. You have to be authentic.
Yeah, exactly.
And real. And I think that it's hard.
Oh, yeah, 100%. And like, you know, you talk about like how we all need to do this and we help clients with this aspect. The way we are just brought up in the world, I think it's just a natural thing that happens where our emotions get the best of us, our fears, like you mentioned, get the best of us, where we have to hide behind things. Yeah. Because we don't want people to see who we are.
No. It's exposure.
Exactly.
It's hard, and judgment.
Exactly. So when we can put ourselves out there, as fearful as that might be to someone taking that step, that's when you can finally relax. That's what I found, because everyone's afraid to put themselves out there. But it's just like in this pursuit that I'm on to achieve these goals, these dreams, and everything, I had to put everything on the wayside and say, I'm going to do that. I had to get to the point where I could say that, which was pushing through that anxiety no other. And when you finally do it, and I have a video way back when out there on this, where you're kind of throwing a right hook at life. Yeah. You know, like you're thinking of boxing example. Yeah. You're throwing a right hook, and when you can step through that anxiety and put yourself out there and be authentic, one, it's going to happen. You're going to have the landing right there, but that's when people really start to catch this, where, oh my goodness, what's he doing? So you start to get feedback, but you never look back. And if, like the very first video I did way back when, I put myself out there, there was no turning back after that. This is who I am. Right. But this is who I always was. I just didn't let anyone see it.
Right. So I wanted to use an example today in our session that I got this coaching client that we talked about quite a few months ago. Her parents found me on Google, whatever. They saw my website, by the way, themindfulnessproject.biz.
There you go.
Love the work. And it's using mindfulness tools that we talk about all the time in breath work and how scientists have proven that actually doing breath work and hearing that second breath in through your nose, that sound, that that hissing sound out through your mouth it's proven it activates the brain, the parasympathetic nervous system. It calms it down so we are able to think better. So when I started doing that and developing this website and teaching these classes, I got this client. And the parents came to me and, at first getting these clients, it was new to me, the coaching. It's got to start somewhere.
Yeah.
Whether you fail, whether you do good, whether you're mediocre, it's got to start somewhere. And I went to an authentic place with her, but it wasn't fully authentic. It wasn't so vulnerable until I started saying, come clean.
Yeah.
She doesn't want to know that I'm perfect, because if I'm so perfect, why am I doing this work?
Exactly.
So when I started to speak of my experiences, she's struggling with her boyfriend, and maybe I'm struggling with mine too, or past relationships. When she started to see that authentic side, and the what do you call it? The walls came down and everything was dropped.
Yeah.
She started really doing the work, because I would send her home with homework, and then I would text her and say, did you do this? Did you do that vision board? Or did you do this paper? We're just working on stuff to get little basic things she was not doing. And I'm like, I have to change this.
Yeah.
And there wasn't really anything to change. Like, I didn't have to take a course on it. It was just be mindful of her, which I was, but be mindful of me, and don't be afraid of her judging me.
Exactly.
So then I started to speak of some of my experiences, and we started to do the walking meditation that you and I spoke, just walking.
Yeah.
Walking and talking like two friends. And even though she's not my friend and I'm her coach, the stuff came down.
Exactly.
Her shoulders started to relax. And there were a couple of very teary moments where I could see her breaking. That's what I wanted.
Yeah.
And then I got a text one day, and she's like, guess what I'm doing tonight? Saturday night. She should be out with her friends. She's like, no, I'm doing a vision board. I'm like, you are?
Awesome. That's
awesome.
Yeah.
And then finally I got a text message from her father. Things are shifting. She wants to go back to school. Like, all these things started happening. And she's seeing less of me because things are working out for her, which is fantastic.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
But it didn't happen until I was more vulnerable and authentic, because we cannot come to a place when we are coaching and teaching, and I'm saying this out there because I'm sure there's a ton of life coaches out there that are newbies that want some tips.
Exactly.
It's got to be the authenticity and vulnerability to open up, and people may leave you, but that's okay too.
No, that's totally fine, because authenticity and vulnerability, they play off each other so much in coaching, but in any aspect, relationships, friendships, jobs, whatever it is, they play off each other so much. But you with your client, I love that so much, because our stories, not just us, yours as well, every single person's story is there to help someone else in their story. Your journey that you're on in life is meant to help someone else's journey in their life. So the struggles you're going through, I believe, and I hope you believe too, there's a reason for that. So with you and your client, where you had to put your wall down, your guard came down, where you became more vulnerable, and this is just a kid that needs help.
Yeah.
So what's the worst that could happen?
Right.
Exactly.
But initially, Billy, I didn't want her to know my stuff. And then I was like, how is she going to relate to me? Because I remember when I was going through my hardest struggles, I was talking to you about this earlier, and I saw a couple of different therapists way back in the day. And I remember seeing this woman, and I was like, wow, she's dressed so nice.
Yeah.
And her car is perfect. And she looks great. And initially you're attracted to the perfect visual, but then I was like, she's not relating to me.
Yeah.
And I think it's great to get there to that place of financially you're in your spot, you have the best of everything, but she had nothing to offer me.
Can't forget who.
Can't
forget how you got there.
Yeah, how you got there. And she didn't drop her guard. We weren't resonating at all. She was not resonating with me. I was trying to tell her my story, and I was upset, and I remember crying, and all this stuff was happening, and I'm like, she doesn't even know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
And if she does, she doesn't want me to know about her. But there was some block there, and I could feel it. Energetically, I knew that she didn't understand my story.
Yeah.
Or my struggles.
Yeah.
So after like 3 or 4 visits, it was over.
Yeah.
And I didn't want that to happen to my client and I,
Exactly.
because I'm like, I wanted her to grow. And I wasn't fixated on the outcome, and that was another one of our topics too. Like if you're fixated on the outcome of making your client the perfect picture perfect teenager, you're not going to get there either.
No.
Because you could have clients that just got something from you, but not everything.
Yep.
But the walls came down when I started to be vulnerable and I
Yep.
started to tell her, I'm going to tell you what happened to me as
Yeah.
a kid. I'm going to tell you what happened to me when I was 19. I'm
Yeah.
going to tell you it has
Exactly.
not been an easy road.
Yeah.
And I'm still going through the throes of certain things
Exactly.
in my journey. And her face dropped.
Yeah. You look at it, that's how we connect as people.
Yeah.
You know, I can say you can even take this to other species,
Yeah,
but it's like
yeah.
we connect as humans to the point where, like, why do you have your friends? It's because they were there for you at certain times in your life where you could connect and you found what made each person that person.
Right.
So you take that further in life, you got a life coaching client now that's younger than you.
Yeah.
Especially with teenagers and kids, how they relate to us is through our stories. And I find that, you know, I've worked for numerous companies and they, specifically certain companies would tell you, hey, you can't say too much about yourself. And in my head, I'm like, well, I'm here for a reason. My story is meant to help these kids' stories and everything. How can I not say that?
Mm-hmm.
And then the kids just ask you, oh, what do you do? Like,
Yeah.
all this stuff. That's how we connect as a society.
That's right.
That's why we look up to people, because they can put their story out there. They
Yeah.
can be vulnerable, but they can be authentic in that
Yeah.
vulnerability. And that's why there are incredible speakers out there. That's why there are politicians out there. That's why there are incredible sports stars that we look up to, because
Yeah.
they can put their heart out there on their sleeve
On their sleeve.
and just be them.
Yeah.
And that's why we wanted to bring this message to you guys, because whether you're a life coach looking for tips, whether you're someone pursuing a goal, whether you're just a kid watching this or just someone out there just living their life, watch how your life changes when you can kind of bring that wall down, and you don't have to do it all at once.
Right.
We're not telling you like,
It takes
hey,
a
crush
while
down.
to shave down
Yeah.
the ego, though. To get rid of that
Which we've
ego.
talked about too.
We've talked about that too. And my ego. It wasn't that my ego was up here. I just didn't want anyone to see behind the veil.
Yeah.
I didn't want them to see because I was so afraid of judgment. And guess what? If they're judging me now or back then, or someone's going to judge you.
Yeah.
You're going to be judged. We're judged
Exactly.
all day long.
Yeah.
You need to stop judging yourself.
Yeah.
And you came from that place,
Mhm.
and you can't erase it. What,
Yeah.
are you going to erase your childhood, erase your past,
Yeah.
erase
Right.
your old friends, erase your... It's never... You can't. So, but if you can stop judging yourself, then I think you stop judging others of how they view you. And that's what the key is.
Yeah.
Stop worrying about what they're going to say. And if that person chooses to exit and not use you as a coach, or if that relationship doesn't work out, then you know.
Yeah. Exactly.
Then you know. It stinks, but you got to go to the next level. That match was energetically, there was something wrong.
Yeah.
To begin with.
Yeah, exactly. You know, it comes back to, you know, the saying, I've heard it numerous times, but if someone isn't respecting you for who you are, you can't be yourself around this person, should that person be a part of your life? And if that person walks out, they were never meant to be there in the first place.
That's right.
And so if they were never meant to be in the first place, that puts it more back on you, where, you know, the age-old saying, you are who you are. But are you actually being who you are? And if you're not being who you are because you're hiding behind it, who are you being?
Yeah.
Who are you putting out there to the world if that's not who you truly are as a person? When you can go home, yes, you're a different person than you are at work. Completely understand that. You got to be professional in certain standpoints.
Yes.
But you got to let that person that is only allowed in your living room, your bedroom, whatever it is, you got to let that person out a little bit.
Yeah.
And just watch, because you're going to find more freedom in your life. You're going to find more relaxation throughout the days. That worry that Andrea was just talking about, that starts to leave a little bit more, because you're like, I don't got to focus on this anymore. I don't got to focus on keeping myself locked away.
Yeah, that's it. Like you're in a box.
Exactly. Yeah.
And you want to you're taking a peek through that box, and then you go back. Mm-hmm. That right there is prison.
Yeah. Exactly.
You are imprisoning your heart, your mind, in your body, and you will never get to that next level.
Yeah.
And for lack of a better phrase, you got to be ballsy enough to open the door, open the gate, and tell somebody a piece of your story. Drop your guard. Yeah. Shave down the ego. It's beneficial. Yeah. Just see what happens.
Exactly. You know, I like that example too, where even you drop your guard a little bit. Like the clientele that I've helped, you know, these kids have been through tremendous traumas, things that I would never wish upon anyone. And it's at times when you're starting that, so if you're a coach taking this in, or you're just anyone who just knows someone who's been through anything, a breadcrumb from someone adds up.
It does.
It does. And like breadcrumb. Eventually those breadcrumbs, you're getting that entire thing starts to come. They find you as the person they can confide in, to the point where they're like, all right, so this is what happened the other day. And a year prior to that, you never would have thought you'd hear anything out of this person.
Yeah, it's so funny that you said that, because when I was thinking about that old therapist I remember all I wanted to hear from her was, I get it. You know, I went through some, and I've heard that therapists are not supposed to disclose their past. Life coaches are different.
Yeah.
We
just wear it.
we wear it on our sleeve, and mindful. Well, I'm a mindfulness coach. You're more a life coach, but it's the same philosophy.
Yeah.
We like to talk. You don't have to expose everything, but little bits and pieces of our story, so you connect with your client, so they can grow with you, and you can become a team. But I don't think a therapist can wear that hat, or they're told not to. And my God, in 2020, I hope some of that goes away and there's some sort of revelation, because I couldn't believe that this woman couldn't say to me, or maybe she couldn't. I get that.
Yeah.
I was there years ago. I'm not going to tell you my story, but it was similar, and I got no crumbs. I got nothing. So there was no energetic connection.
Yeah.
So why should I go there again?
No,
why should I pay?
Yeah.
What is she doing to help me?
Exactly.
I could talk to myself and talk to God and get more feedback than sitting in a chair with someone that just went,
Yeah, and that is a struggle. And that's not to knock therapists.
No, it's not. No,
tremendous therapists out there, but you know,
we're talking about coaching though.
No,
so when
100%.
you're coaching your clients,
exactly.
try to be authentic. Is what I was trying to get.
No,
get
exactly,
at.
and that's what the struggle was with this specific person for you, where they were kind of in it for a paycheck rather than being in it for the client.
Yeah, it was obvious
and
though.
That's where the coaching, like, you know, I hope therapists are in there for the clients, but like, that's where coaching, at least from what we've seen, you're there for the clientele, and no matter how long that session is, you're working to help that person become a better person. And today's message is to help you guys become better people, because when you can let that guard down for even just a second and just be more authentic, be more vulnerable, wear your story on your sleeve for a second, because that's going to help someone else in their story and understand you a little bit more. So much in your life can change from that, and it's incredible. It's just absolutely astounding what can happen, because you went through something in your life to put you on the path that you're on, that you're pursuing right now, whatever that was. Yeah. Whether you haven't pursued that goal, you went through something to get to where you are. And then there are people who choose not to act on that, and they question why their life is the way that it is. And they've kept everything inside of them for so long, then later in life they're sitting there like, oh, I never really did everything that I wanted to do. All right, well, let's try and take that guard down. Why?
Yeah.
Why was there a guard in the first place? Let's start with that. And then when you start to pick pieces from this, you really start to see this person has so much greatness in them, so many gifts, so much glory in them that was placed there. And we can just start acting on that by taking this guard down with your authenticity and your vulnerability. Oh my goodness, the doors that could open for you to just live a happier, more peaceful, just a victorious life. It's incredible. Yeah,
and there's no better feeling in the world when you guys are out there coaching. If you choose to be coaches, I know people watch these clips and they get these tips, and we wanted to talk about authenticity and coaching today, but there's no better feeling that, like when I got the text from the parents that they've saw a shift in their daughter, and she wants to study more, and she's getting off the couch, and they're finally, and I'm like, oh, why did that happen now? Why didn't that happen 2 months ago? And I'm like, what did I do differently? And it's because I was less guarded. Yeah. The guard dropped. And it's okay to tell a story that's not that pretty.
Yeah.
It's okay to tell them that I failed at this and this didn't happen or that didn't take off and there was this massive struggle, because the stuff that she was telling me was off the charts.
Yeah.
Hard to hear.
Oh, yeah.
But why are we doing this work then?
Exactly.
Then why you're not going to search for a life coach or a mindfulness coach for your child if things were great.
Yeah. No.
It's because the stuff got ugly.
Yeah.
It's because the family not grew apart, fell apart. Think of a tower, and the tower crashed and burned, and everyone's at the floor, and they're desperate. That is when they're like, we got to get some help.
Yeah.
We need to get some help.
Yeah.
Those are the clients that we're getting.
Exactly. And
not the picture part. You know what I mean?
No, and 100%. Because, even the people that are perfect have something. That's the thing right there.
Yeah.
No one's perfect in this world. No one's perfect. You could look at someone and go, oh my goodness, that guy is so perfect. That girl's so perfect.
How'd she get that, and that? But
right. Behind the scenes, that's a completely different person.
Yeah.
So no one's perfect in this world. But in these examples, why we keep emphasizing this to you guys, humans, we play off of emotion. We connect with emotion. Whether you're watching someone on a YouTube video, whether you're watching someone on a stage, why did you go watch that person? Like we said earlier, they're authentic, they're vulnerable, but they're emotions of their story. Humans can be captivated by a story, and I just want to know what your story is. And that's why we put this out there. Write down your story.
Yeah, what is it?
To do that. Write down your
story. Tell us in the comments.
Yeah. Further comments, yes, but for you as well, even if you grab a journal, Andrea's brought up numerous topics on journaling, how she loves it and it's helped tremendous people. But grab a piece of paper and write out your story for you, and just use that as your release. Write it out, get it out there into the world. No one else sees it but you in that moment. But start to wear it. If that's who you are you showing that to the world? Even just a little bit? And if you're not, can you take that step? Can you every single day you prompt yourself a little bit more just to say, I'm going to be a little bit more, I don't want to say truthful because I hope you're being truthful, but step out. Step out into the light just a little bit more instead of keeping yourself in kind of the cage and in the prison we talked about, in the box.
See what happens.
Just see what happens.
Yeah. It's scary, I will tell you. It's exposure. But it is at first, and then you start to do it, and you start to not care.
Exactly.
And I don't mean care in a rude way. You're like, if you don't like my story, I'm not going to change. This is who I am.
Yeah.
That's where I came from, and this is what I've gone through, and the struggles are still there, but they're less. They affect us less because we've grown emotionally because we are now self-aware.
You become stronger.
And it's harder to be. It is. And we'll talk about this next time. It's hard. It's hard to be around people that aren't self-aware, that can admit, I did this and I made a mistake and I was wrong. And if you're around people that are not self-aware, that's toxicity, and that's for another topic. You should be able to admit your mistakes.
Exactly. But guys, that's our message for today. And we kind of did it in a brief way, but we'll continue on this. Comment if you want to hear more on this authentic, vulnerable topic, because I think it's something that we all need in the world. And we all need to be a little bit more of, I should say. But guys, your story is meant to help others. Don't keep that locked away inside you. Let people see that even if it's just a page of that story, just a paragraph, just a sentence for that matter of your story, put it out there. But guys, I thank you for tuning in. Andrea, thank you for being here.
Thanks, Billy.
Guys, like this message so we can get it to more people. If this impacted you in some way, or if you know someone that needs to be more authentic and more vulnerable, share this message directly to them so they can get something out of it too. And guys, make sure you hit that subscribe button. If you hit that little bell in the corner, you'll see every single one of these messages pop up on your phone, your tablet, whatever you got. You'll get the alerts. But guys, thank you so much for tuning in, and we'll see you next week.
Awesome.
I've been around and doing it, but now it's my time to shine and start proving it. I'm losing it, I'm moving it. The city is where I'm made, Bostonian flow, I kick it back, babe.